Oh, it's time, baby! Another episode! Woo! 38! Dynamite! Probably one of the best segments in WWE history this past week. It's time to get it on, baby! Welcome to the show. Smells Like Wrasslin, episode 38. Coming at you live from my goddamn apartment in the greatest place on earth, Long Island, New York. And we're ready to rock and roll tonight. How we all doing? Got a couple people in the chat. Sarah, what's going on? Good that you're here. Another episode of Dynamite in the books. Bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about. Looks like more teases for the Elite coming back. Katsuyori Shibata is wrestling Orange Cassidy this Friday. That's wild. Probably one of the worst women's matches in the history of AEW was put on. And, yeah. They said it was supposed to be a big episode. I don't really know why it was supposed to be big. I wasn't seeing anything. But here we go. So, let's talk. Friday night, we had SmackDown. Sami Zayn had on one of the funniest, greatest segments in recent history with WWE. I went back on YouTube and watched it multiple times. It was that funny. Just that whole Usi bit was hysterical. Was absolutely hysterical. Rumors of Punk being gone, the Elite coming back. I mean, they're doing all these video segments with the Elite coming back. Colt Cabana came back to fight for the ROH title tonight. The guy that Punk buried in that infamous post-media scrum. But I got some stuff to talk about first before we get going. I have some stuff I have to get off my chest once again. Ugh. There we go. I felt better. Anywho. So, I got to talk about wrestlers and social media. Wrestlers and social media. Listen, I get that social media is a great way to expand your brand, to promote yourself, to increase engagement with your fans, all that shit, right? And I understand there's benefits to it. But I'm telling you this right now. Wrestlers, you got to stop fucking talking to fans online. Not only that, you got to stop talking to podcasters online and YouTubers. Enough. Enough. They're not worth talking to. I am not worth you talking to me. If I post something on my YouTube channel, if another podcaster or YouTuber posts something on their channel, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. You want to know why? Because here's why. Here's why. You know how I'm always talking about how there's a reason why AEW is never mentioned on WWE programming? You ever wonder why that is? The reason being, and I've said this before, is that WWE are kingmakers, okay? They are when someone says wrestling, people think WWF, WWE. They think of guys like The Rock and Stone Cold and Undertaker and all that stuff, all right? WWE is wrestling on planet Earth, okay? So, why in the blue fuck would WWE ever use any of their programming to mention a rival company? All right? WWE has the bigger platform. WWE has more eyes on their product. For them to mention AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, GCW, PWG, and all these other promotions, it doesn't serve any benefit to them. Why? Because then that just makes some of their viewers think, oh, what's this about? There's other wrestling out there? And then you got people thinking about maybe checking out other promotions. And then their eyes are watching other products. And there's a possibility they might like those other products. It's a possibility they may actually like that other product maybe more than WWE. What happens then? Those people start dividing their time. Oh, maybe I don't watch Raw this week. Maybe let me check out this show. Let me check out that show. I had a friend of mine who sent me a link to a New Japan match. Maybe I might try that out. It doesn't serve them any benefit to share their platform and their eyeballs and their viewership and their fan base and their this and their that with any promotion, okay? It's smart business. It's smart business. It has nothing to do with wrestling. It's smart business, okay? If you're number one, why bother putting spotlight on anybody else? Now, let's say if AEW was racking in the same amount of viewership, the same amount of social media interaction, and they're literally a rival to WWE in size and in scope and in scale, then maybe you want to take some time to bury that rival company because there's already eyes on them already the same amount of eyes. Maybe if anyone tries to turn over to your channel, you kind of want to bury them a little bit. That's the only reason why I would say maybe you would want to do something along those lines, okay? And mention another promotion. Having said that, pro wrestlers, right? Pro wrestlers traditionally have more followers and more social media engagement in terms of people actually visiting their page and looking at their tweets and their Instagrams more than someone like myself. I mean, right now I got 3 viewers? I think I had maybe 30 subscribers to the channel. I'm small peanuts. You know what I mean? Now, let's say, for example, let's pull someone out of the blue. Let's pull Orange Cassidy. Just pull a name out of the hat. All right? Let's say I give a subpar review. My opinion, I think, let's say I gave a subpar review to the Orange Cassidy triple threat match that they had tonight for the All-Atlantic title, right? Let's say I did that. If he responds to me, all of his fans are going to see my page. And they're going to start watching my clips and my videos. Now, if he has a problem with me, and like I said, this is all hypothetical, all right? I don't even have a Twitter, and I actually semi-enjoyed the triple threat match tonight with Orange Cassidy. So, if his goal was to, I don't know, shut me up, why? You're putting money in my pocket. You're putting more eyes on my product. You took your big platform, your Twitter, your followers, and you pointed them in my direction. To me, that's a win. Okay? That's a win. Because as a YouTuber, right, technically my goal is to get as many eyes on my channel and my videos as possible. So I don't get why wrestlers think it's a good fucking idea to go tit for tat with every single reporter and wrestler on the internet. All right? Do you see Kevin Durant doing that on Twitter? Huh? Do you see LeBron James talking to Stephen A. Smith, talking to Pat McAfee on Twitter? No. Why? Because they're fucking professionals. Professional wrestlers need to start acting professional. Stop going tit for tat with nobodies. It's ridiculous. You're going tit for tat with someone like myself. You're going tit for tat with somebody like you with like a Brian Alvarez or a fucking JD, that fat lazy fuck. Stupid. You know what it does? It makes them look better. That motherfucker right now, he's probably got a live show on right now. He's getting views. He must be laughing his ass to the bank right now because of all that shit that he talked about with Jade and Marina Shafir. And they came up and they did a bullshit match tonight. You want to know who won? That fat motherfucker. You didn't serve anybody. You didn't do that women's division any favors by interacting with a guy like that. Jade, Marina, Rebel, Britt, shut the fuck up! Stop interacting with every Tom, Dick, and Harry online who doesn't like your shit! Silence is golden! It doesn't make you look any better. It puts you in the same league as that stupid piece of shit CM Punk, who thought it was a great idea to go head-to-head with wrestling media in the middle of a media scrum and shit all over his company. That's the next person I'm going to talk about when I'm done with this shit. Wrestlers need to stop having thin skins and stop jumping at every single person who pushes them. It's a bad look. Post clips on your matches, retweet pictures of kids dressing up for you for Halloween. Stop interacting with the fans on social media. It's not a good look. It's bad business for you. All right? And if you feel so compelled that you got to answer every single person who talks to you sideways, get off of social media. You make enough money, hire a manager, hire a fucking intern for free to just repost clips of your matches and like people's videos and tweets of you. Stop interacting. It just gives all these hacks who have YouTube channels who think that they're wannabe journalists, it gives them clout. I am not a journalist. I do not have scoops. I have a channel in my house that I like to talk wrestling with people. That's it. I have my opinions. I think the entire AEW women's roster is a waste of television time. All right? A waste of television time. You want to know why? You want to know why that's so glaringly obvious in AEW? Because you're putting them up alongside legends and future Hall of Famers like Daniel Bryan. All right? Chris Jericho. These are guys who have put on and continue to put on great matches. All right? The majority of the Dark and Elevation matches are better than most of the women's matches that are on Dynamite and Rampage. All right? If it were up to me, they wouldn't be on AEW television whatsoever. There are plenty of other more talented people, more compelling characters on the roster that could make better use of that television time. That Marina Shafir Jade Cargill match tonight was a fucking disgrace. They didn't even lock up, and Nyla Rose came out to cut a promo. Nobody was paying attention to that match in the crowd. Nobody was paying attention to that match on television. They had to put out Vicky Guerrero. She's screaming, "Excuse me," in the middle of the match. She literally was screaming at people to stop paying attention to the match and pay attention to her. What a fucking awful, awful segment. What an awful segment. All right? Another thing. Let's talk about Punk. All you guys thinking Punk's going to come back? Fat chance, baby. Number one, he's injured. Torn triceps. He's going to be out for maybe 6 months minimum. That's number one, he's injured. So if you think he's coming back at the Rumble or Survivor Series or Mania, that shit isn't going to happen. So that's number one. Number two, they fired the man on his wedding day. All right? They fired the man on his wedding day. He went out on Colt Cabana's podcast, buried WWE, buried Vince, buried Triple H, buried the doctors and the training staff, buried everybody, to the point where there was a lawsuit. And that lawsuit was so ugly and so personal, it ruined the friendship between Punk and Colt Cabana. That entire podcast is gone, completely deleted. You can't find it anymore. All right? It probably cost Punk a good amount of money. He didn't win that lawsuit, if I remember correctly. All right? Then he got sued by Colt, or countersued him. They had a whole thing. So that's it. Then he comes to AEW, all happy. Hey, it's CM Punk. Hey. He had this huge pop in Chicago. This was a year ago, almost a year ago. Huge pop, well, probably one of the all-time. That pop rivaled like Triple H returning at MSG. That was a big ass pop. All right. AEW did great business. They did good pay-per-views. He put on good promos. He put on decent matches. And then something went wrong. Then he thought it was a great idea to, after one of the most successful pay-per-views that the company had, and he wins the title, to go on for a press conference, bury the company, bury the people who run the company, including the man sitting 3 feet next to him, the actual owner and CEO of the company, Tony Khan, buries the EVPs. Then, that's not over. It's not over yet. Then brings back shit about Colt Cabana, because apparently somebody was talking about him and Colt. I don't know who the fuck that was. Apparently he's saying that Hangman goes into business for himself. No one understood that promo had anything to do with Colt Cabana whatsoever, until Punk started being all pissed off about it. Then all these reports came in. Oh, Hangman went and bought for business for himself. Punk's all upset, blah, blah, blah. Bro, you're in UFC. Be a fucking man, all right? Stop being a freaking whiny piece of shit, all right? So, the media talk bad about me. So what? The media talks bad about everybody. You're not exempt. Then, on top of all that, he gets into a fist fight with 3 EVPs from the company, 3 executive vice presidents. And now he's gone. Punk is done with professional wrestling. Every single possible bridge that he could possibly have has been burnt. He's not going back to AEW. He can't go to ROH because ROH is owned by AEW. He's definitely not going back to WWE. You think they're going to let a guy who tried to sue WWE into oblivion come back to the company? No. All right? So if you think Punk is coming back to anywhere, at any promotion, you got another thing coming. Punk is done. And in my opinion, good fucking riddance. All right? You peaked with the pipe bomb. You had that title win. You had that year-long reign. Then they had you just drop it to The Rock out of nowhere. You never had your WrestleMania match. You couldn't beat Taker at Mania. Then you were just gone. You went to UFC. You were a fucking failure there. I never want to see CM Punk on my television ever again. Go read comics. Go hang out with your fucking ugly ass dog Larry and stay the fuck away from professional wrestling. I'm sick of it. All these people like, oh man, I can't wait until Punk's on. Punk's done, man. Why the fuck would you want a cancer like that? I have my issues with Jericho, all right? But I'll give Jericho one thing. He was 100% correct if those rumors were true, saying that he called Punk a cancer to the locker room. That guy brings his chip, my gigantic ass chip on his shoulder, everywhere that he goes. Dude looks like a miserable fucking human being. Why would you even want him around? The guy could have done great business. He could have revamped his career. All he had to do was shut the fuck up and wrestle. But no. He's got to do all this shit. So if you're a wrestler online, you want to talk to the media, stop. You know what? I heard something today. I think it was a quote from J.J. Watt, actually. Talking to young athletes. Saying it takes a very, very long time to build a name for yourself and a reputation and a brand. But it takes one click to ruin it. If you're going to post something, if you're going to say something, stop and read it 99 times. Over and over and over again. Until you figure out that, you know what, maybe I shouldn't post that. Maybe I shouldn't write that out. Doom, the reason why Larry caught a stray is because that dog is the most ugliest fucking dog I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. He brings that dog all over the place, and I'm sick of it, all right? I don't like people who just bring their dogs everywhere, all right? That's just ridiculous. They're not children. They're pets. You know there's video of Larry escaping from the freaking backstage and running around ringside? Get that dog the fuck out of there, man. You're a fucking millionaire. You can't find someone to dog sit? Someone to sit? Why don't you get Ace Steel? He likes to bite shit. He's got plenty in common with a dog. Why don't you have Ace fucking Steel sit there and babysit the goddamn dog? Stop going tit for tat with YouTubers and wrestling journalists. First off, 99% of wrestling journalists are a bunch of amateur hacks. All right? They're all people with YouTube channels that spent a lot of time building up their channels and their networks, right? And they have a following. That doesn't legitimize anybody, all right? A lot of these guys don't even have sources. They just resource other things that other people have gotten. Enough. I'm fucking hot and sweaty right now. I'm getting all fucking heated. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sick of this shit. Sick of it, all right? I'm sick of it. You know? I have to go. You know, I don't have a Twitter or a Facebook, so I end up hearing about this stuff from buddies of mine. I'm in a couple of chats representing the Rat Bastards. Props to all my bastards out there, and props to the Discord Championship Wrestling Discord. Props to you guys. That's where I find out my information. You know? That's why I hear what's going on. All right? And by the way, message for JD. I'm coming for you. All right? You're not the only New York podcaster here. I'm coming for you. So enjoy. Because keep on spouting that shit and keep on getting ranked on by these stupid wannabe wrestlers. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes, buddy. All right? Because all I need, I just ruin your own channel. That's all. I'll take your viewers. I do this better than you anyways. 30 subscribers, I got 5 viewers right now. I could guarantee you I do my job better than you. You want to know why? Because I don't jump at every single person that gives me a little push, all right? Also, I'm not dumb enough to interact with people on the fucking internet. You want to talk to me? There's the chat. Come on, right here onto this chat. Anyone wants to talk to me, they could go right here on this chat, onto there, and chat with me. All right? There ain't no way I'm going to be talking to any of you fuckers for free. You could do it right here on this goddamn chat. I have no problem talking to people in real time. If this fucking Google Voice thing would have worked, I would have live callers on tonight. God damn it. I get so fucking heated, bro. I get so mad. But people do dumb shit. Adults, professionals do dumb shit. Enough. Enough. All right. You know what I like out there? You want to know one of the only YouTubers I really enjoy out there? I have a great time listening to them. Andrew Zarian and Rich Sambolian of the Mat Men podcast. I like those guys a lot. They're fun guys. They're New Yorkers. I love watching them talk. They just chat wrestling. You know? Andrew's got some connections. Sometimes he drops some scoops, but other times it's just two guys chatting. All right? You never see them going tit for tat with wrestlers. Nothing. It's dumb. Christ. All right. Let's get to getting. You guys want to hear this Dynamite review? You guys want it? Because it's coming. I'm going to drop this shit right now. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys had a good Halloween and enjoyed it all. I hope you guys enjoyed SmackDown because, like I said, the Bloodline to me is the only reason I watch SmackDown. I never in a million years would have thought that I would only watch Raw or SmackDown if Roman Reigns was on it. To me, there's really not much else going on. The stuff with Bray, it's getting real tired. He's been back for, 3 weeks? All he does is talk to himself? Enough. He's, all this cryptid stuff. Wrestle or shut the fuck up now. It's been a month. Wrestle or shut up. I don't need to hear a guy talking and you got Howdy Doody coming out. Fuck this shit. Give him someone who wants to wrestle him. Give me a good storyline. Let's get to wrestling. All right? They didn't sign Bray Wyatt to talk, did he? I assume they assigned him to wrestle, right? So let's start wrestling, bro. Enough is enough. And if they put him up against Roman, that's the dumbest shit I would have ever seen in my entire life. You're going to bring this guy out here, one of the biggest re-signings they've ever had, and you're going to feed him to Roman so Roman could beat the shit out of him? Roman's destined to lose to Cody. All right? I pray to God Cody comes back at the Rumble, wins it, and wins the big one at Mania. Then he goes, he beats Roman, he splits the belts, he takes the SmackDown title, goes to SmackDown, and maybe they set up a tournament to go for the WWE title. All right? Get someone else to do it. But enough is enough. Enough is enough. He's talking all this cryptic stuff. He's a face this week. He's a heel the other week. He's talking underneath. If someone would have told me Bray Wyatt's showing up next week and I bought tickets and I had to watch a video of him underneath the stage cutting a promo, I would have fucking choked somebody out. That's unbelievable. That is the most bullshit thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Let's get the guy wrestling already. Let's go. World Wrestling Entertainment. It's not just entertainment. It's about wrestling. Let's get him wrestling people already. But I'm telling you right now, when Clash of the Castle happened, I gotta say I was pretty disappointed that Drew didn't win. I mean, it was a phenomenal match. Absolutely, the booking of it was fucking perfect and I loved it. Was I disappointed that Drew didn't win? Yeah, I was a little disappointed. Because I thought it was his time. It was a good build. They built him up as a good champion. It was in front of his hometown crowd. By the way, Clash at the Castle made like $8 million for the company. That is a great, great profit turnaround. All right? All Out made what, $1 million? Clash at the Castle made $8 million. I mean, granted, in the stadium they had was like how many times bigger than what they did for All Out. But, WWE's making good business. I think it's going to take... Here's the problem right now, all right? It's going to take a long time for WWE. It's going to take a long time for Triple H to rehabilitate all of the wrestlers that they threw under the bus to boost up Roman. Because Roman killed everybody. And that didn't do anyone any favors but Roman. So now you just got a whole roster of a bunch of guys who've just been doing nothing for the last 10 years that you now have to rehabilitate and start getting people to take seriously. They're starting to do that with Kevin Owens and shit like that. It looks like they're going to go back on the Austin Theory Money in the Bank win, and he might actually cash that in for the NXT title. Good. Let him win the NXT title. Let him be a heel in NXT. Let him feud with guys like Braun Breaker, and let him do his thing, all right? Because Austin Theory, he's not a world champion. I'm sorry. He's not a world champion. He's not a SmackDown champion. He's not a Raw champion. He could be an IC champ. He could be a US champ. You can make him the 24/7 champ. I actually think, what did they retire the 24/7 title? Because I haven't seen that in a while. But he's got to do something else. Get him the fuck off of my television. All right? All right? If you would ask me, chat, if someone were to take a wild guess who I think should be world champ in WWE, you guys know me well enough. Put it in the chat right now who I think should be the world champ in WWE right now. All right? It's pretty fucking easy. I'm going to wait until someone posts it in the chat, and then I'm going to say it. But it's like unbelievable. But it's going to take a while for WWE to get to the point where all 3 hours of Raw and all 2 hours of SmackDown is going to be something worth watching. Because I'm telling you right now, even Dynamite's a little bit of a chore. You want to know why? And who said this recently? I think Bischoff said this. That AEW is just putting on matches for the sake of matches. Thank you very much. Johnny fucking Gargano. He should be the champion. He should have every single goddamn belt. Put the women's titles on Candice LeRae. Put the 24/7 title on Quinn Gargano. And put all the belts on Johnny. The greatest wrestler of all time. The American Okada. Taking pins from fucking Otis. Fuck you, Jordan. Unbelievable. Fuck you too, Ben. Fuck the both of you. Unbelievable. Give the belts to him. I'm hoping that maybe he'll take the Money in the Bank briefcase from Theory, and then just cash it in on Cody. Yeah, Gargano, the greatest wrestler in America, the greatest wrestler on planet Earth. The greatest wrestler in the universe. I saw that man's last match in Evolve. I met the dude, nicest freaking guy in the world. He put on some of the most incredible matches I've ever seen in NXT. I was there at TakeOver New York when he beat Adam Cole 2 out of 3 falls. That was the greatest match I've ever seen live and in person. Greatest match still I've ever seen was when Omega won the title from Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. Bro, I'm not that old, bro. I haven't even hit 40 yet. I'm in my prime. All right? I'm your Huckleberry. But Johnny Gargano is the man. I love him. I don't care what anyone thinks. That guy should be the greatest. He should give every belt. Take the belt off of FTR. Take the belt off of Jade. Put it all on Gargano. You know how heartbroken I was when he signed with WWE and didn't sign with AEW? I was like, fuck, man. What's going to happen? And sure enough, he's just doing shit in the mid-card. Breaks my goddamn heart. It breaks my goddamn heart. I'm sweating right now. You're right, Con. He is not the American Okada, all right? Okada is the Japanese Gargano. Doom, that shit ain't ever gonna happen because I ain't dumb enough to get married, bro. No fucking way, homie. No way. All right. No, don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare, Con. Don't you goddamn dare. Oh, man. All right, let's talk about this Dynamite show, shall we? If I come up with other stuff in between, I'll just go on a tangent. Who cares? 4 titles on the line tonight. ROH World TV title on the line in the main event. Samoa Joe versus Brian Cage. Another match for the sake of nothing. Chris Jericho versus a former ROH champion. Another match for the sake of nothing. Jade Cargill versus Marina Shafir for the TBS title. Another match for fucking nothing. And the triple threat match between for the All-Atlantic Championship, Orange Cassidy, Luchasaurus, and Rey Fenix. I mean, Orange Cassidy is just having just triple threat matches every week. Another match for fucking nothing. You're right, Con. Tonight's episode was mid. So let's go. Let's talk about it. All right, so the first match of the night was Jay Lethal versus Darby Allin. I immediately already had an issue with this match. All right, now I saw about half of it. Yes, Con, you're 100% correct. All right, Con, let me ask you this, bro. Let me ask you this: Do her wins mean anything now? Con just put in the chat they had Jade get her 40th win on Dark. Do any of her wins mean anything now, bro? I mean, like, she's just beating nobodies. Like, no one has taken Jade to the limit yet. Nobody. You know what I think? I think they're just treading water until Statlander comes back and Statlander's going to beat her for the belt. That's what I think. I think that Jade was never meant to have a win streak this long. I think they didn't expect Statlander to get injured, and she did. I'm pretty sure Statlander either would be challenging for the belt at Full Gear, or she would have already been champ by All Out. Fucking dehydrated because I'm sweating because I'm so upset. Because goddamn wrestling, which is supposed to make me happy, is giving me goddamn agita. I'm gonna have a fucking hernia. Yeah, bro. After 30, yeah, you're 100% correct. After 30, they stop being worth a damn. But that's the problem with a lot of champions in AEW. How many times have I said this, people? I say it every week. Strong contenders make strong champions. And strong champions have good reigns, and good reigns build up the title. But when you have first off, why is Moxley wrestling every week in a championship eliminator tournament while they're promoting a match between him and MJF at Full Gear? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Yep. It was confirmed that she was supposed to drop? Yeah. So, I mean, who knows what Statlander's going to be back, because she blew out her knee again. I don't think she's coming back. I think Jade's holding on to this belt until Revolution. That's my opinion. They'll have Statlander come back maybe January or February. I think by that point. How long has Statlander been injured anyway? Since middle of the summer of this year, middle of 2022, right? I would say a knee injury should probably take 6 to 12 months. Like what? Statlander won't be... If that's the case, we may not see Statlander until Double or Nothing. Hell, we may not even see her until All Out 2023. Jade's gonna have, what, 200 wins? Jade should be like Lesnar. And she shows up every once in a while as an attraction, and they spend a whole bunch of time having to, building someone up to fight her, so that every single one of her matches means something. Instead, they put all these freaking geeks out there for her to wrestle every week. Did anybody, let me ask you guys out there, did anybody think that Marina Shafir was going to be Jade Cargill tonight? Fuck no. Richie, you might be, Richie, I think you might be right. All right? I don't know if Jade is a champ. Jade's not, she's not very oozy. No. You know what I mean? And also, what's the deal with what is the TBS title? Is this supposed to be equal to the AEW women's belt? Is this the mid-card belt for the women's division? If, what's going on here? What's going on with this belt? Listen, if that's the case, why are they just holding water for Statlander? Why can't they build up someone else to have taken this belt off of her already? You mean to tell me there's no one? You know who they should have had build up and win that belt? Jamie fucking Hayter. Instead, they have her on a random title match at Full Gear. All of a sudden, Jamie Hayter's fighting Toni Storm for the belt. Who here thinks that Jamie Hayter is actually going to beat Toni Storm for the belt? Now, the only thing I could think of is that if she actually wins, then it sets up a program that finally pits her against Britt Baker. And then maybe they do a match at Winter is Coming or New Year's Smash. Or, to be honest, they should build that match for Revolution if Hayter wins the belt at Full Gear. If you're going to do Jamie Hayter versus Britt Baker, that should be a match that you make people pay for. All right? No, Jamie Hayter is long overdue. Jamie Hayter should be the AEW Women's Champ, and Chris Statlander should be the TBS Champ. But you want to know what worries me? Is that if any of those women end up, if my dream comes true and both of those women end up winning their respective titles, what does championship booking look like in AEW? What are you going to do? They're going to fight Marina Shafir on a random episode of Dark? Huh? They're going to fight Riho in a majority commercial picture-in-picture match on a Dynamite? Build up worthwhile contenders for your champions. Champions don't need to have matches every week. All right? Not everyone could be a Seth Rollins who could put on awesome matches every week. If you had any women's wrestlers who could wrestle to the caliber of a Seth Rollins, put them on every week. Have them fight whatever match that they want. All right? But these matches are a chore. They're fucking boring. They're slow. They're uncoordinated. They're clunky. I'm tired of it. All right? I hold every wrestler to the same standard. My view, if you're going to give a 5-star match, fuck whatever way Meltzer rates them. This is Eric's 5-star standard. 5-star match to me, I'll give you 3 examples. HBK versus Undertaker WrestleMania 25 in Texas. 5-star match. Omega versus Okada, 2 out of 3 falls, no time limit, Wrestle Kingdom. 5-star match. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls for the vacant NXT title at TakeOver New York. 5-star match. What match have you seen on any promotion from a women's division that meets that caliber? Let's talk about a 4-star match. Johnny Gargano versus Ricochet, TakeOver Phoenix for the North American title. Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the North American title at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 or 3. Another match, Danielson versus Omega at the first Grand Slam. I was there live. All right? I hold everybody to the same standard. If you're not putting on that caliber match, I'm not going to give you that caliber of praise. The matches in the AEW Women's Division are at best 3.5. They need to do better. Now, they have no other place for them to put them exclusively on Dark and Elevation. Therefore, you're not wasting any television time for subpar matches. They could cut their teeth and learn and grow. And when that division as a whole has elevated, put them on TV. Now, I'm assuming at Full Gear it's going to be Britt Baker versus Saraya. Saraya hasn't wrestled in like how many years? 6, 7 years? Who's carrying that match? Britt or Saraya? Britt can't carry matches. Saraya hasn't wrestled in 7 years. The Rosa Britt Baker match, I would say like 4 stars. That was a good match. It was better than the cage match. The cage match got ruined because they got rushed at the end, and the ending just happened. You know what I mean? They threw Britt outside. They rushed and pulled her back in. Fire Thunder Driver at the end. I'm like, what the fuck? It's over? Holy shit. Oh, she went, hey! All right? They're not doing these women a service. All right? They're not putting them, you know, it's like getting an undercooked meal. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the fans. Did you guys notice that they finally turned Nikki ASH back into Nikki Cross? Jesus Christ, what a freaking travesty that Nikki ASH, almost a superhero. That must have been the worst. That's the worst fucking gimmick I've ever seen since Bayley. All right? I know people like Bayley. She's a great wrestler. I detest adults acting like children and they're wrestlers. Oh boy, I'm Bayley. Hey, I got the things. It's stupid. It's not cool. She was the women's champion. They had Nikki ASH as the women's champion. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Now she's finally Nikki Cross. Great, and she lost already. She's trying to come back crazy again. They had a little variant of her entrance music when she was a part of Sanity. You guys remember Sanity? With her and Killian Dane, who they're actually married in real life, and Eric Young, who knows where the fuck he is. I think he's on Impact or something. I'm Eric Young. I don't know. Anywho, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Jay Lethal and Darby Allin. Oh my god, did she, Con? Nikki Ash beat Charlotte clean? Oh. No, don't tell me that. Someone confirm that for me. I thought Nikki ASH, wasn't she a Money in the Bank winner? Isn't that how she won the belt? I can't remember. It's not like I was watching WWE at the time anyways. So, anywho. Jay Lethal versus Darby Allin. It was a solid match until the end. Then shit went off the rails. They had fake Sting come out. And it was some dude named Cole Carter. He took off his mask. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. Nobody knew who he was. And then Jeff Jarrett comes back. This right now, what AEW is doing, this is borderline TNA levels of bullshit. Because the second I saw Jeff Jarrett, I'm like, oh my god, here we go. Like, they brought back Jeff Jarrett. Why? AEW was supposed to be the place where young talent gets noticed. And you have Jeff Jarrett come out. And I don't even know who the hell, does anyone know who Cole Carter is? I have no idea who he is. He came out, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I did a little McGregor. Who the fuck is this guy? No idea. No idea. Jarrett's talking about all this bullshit. I don't care. I tuned them out. I did like that he had his TNA theme, which I thought was pretty cool. And I always liked the name of his finisher called The Stroke. I thought that was pretty funny too. But they had a match, and like literally the match started, and like 5-10 minutes into it, it went to picture-in-picture for most of the match. Then all of a sudden the picture-in-picture came out. Allen hits a springboard coffin drop. All of a sudden, like they're talking about, oh, Lethal knows somebody who knows the ins and outs of Darby Allin, blah blah blah. It was no holds barred. No holds barred match between Nikki Ash and Charlotte. Wow. Well, yep, that was the only way that she was really gonna beat her in a match with gimmicks, because there was no fucking way Nikki, almost a superhero, beats Charlotte fucking Flair clean. No freaking way. Who ended up taking the belt off of Nikki anyways? Was it Charlotte again? I have no idea. So, Cole Carter's from the factory? From the factory? The job squad? Oh my God. No one cares. No one cares. Jon Moxley cuts a promo backstage trying to beef up why Lee Moriarty is a credible opponent. He's not. So no matter what you say, Moxley, nobody in their right fucking mind thought that Lee Moriarty was going to beat you for a match. He shouldn't even have a title eliminator match. First off, Moxley shouldn't be wrestling every fucking week. Moxley is the world champion. He should only be wrestling the best of the best. Maybe he should wrestle one match, like, or if Moxley's going to wrestle a match, it should be because immediately after there's going to be a promo with him and his main contender. Where was MJF tonight? Gone. No idea. They took him out last week. I don't know what the hell they're doing with him. He's a face, he's a heel, he's a face, he's a heel, he's a face, he's a heel. I don't know. MJF should never be face. He should be a heel. Period. They do a video of the Elite winning the Trios titles. It's deleted. Death Triangle's win is shown over that. They had a graphic of Kenny Omega and the Bucks on the AEW advertisement. That was replaced with Death Triangle. Obviously, the Elite's coming back. We just don't know when. They're probably going to come back. Death Triangle's going to hold on to the belts until the Elite come back, and the Elite are going to take them and win them, and they're going to do whatever sort of storyline that they were looking to do with the Elite when they had the belts that they couldn't do. And also, let me put this out there as well. As much shit that as I talked about Punk, Omega, and the Bucks, you are just as much at fault as Punk is. You guys are EVPs. You're not just wrestlers. You guys should have never been in his locker room whatsoever. They should have taken that to the head of legal. They should have taken that to Tony Khan, and they should have figured out something there. If they would have never went to his dressing room, that shit would have never happened. They should have never have been there. And to be quite honest, how could they possibly think that Punk was in the mood to talk after what he just did? You know who I respect? Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page was nowhere near any of that shit. Good for you, dude. Good for you. Moxley fights Lee Moriarty. Who cares? It was a regular match. The end. Majority of it was a commercial break. Who cares? Who cares? A title eliminator match. Your world champion is on TV. Majority of the match is a commercial break. Come on, man. Come the fuck on. Ethan Page joins commentary. He ends up coming in at the end of the match and hitting a high kick on Moxley. Apparently there's going to be a title eliminator tournament, which is going to culminate a Full Gear. So they're going to have a tournament. Here we go. Tournaments are not a bad way to build up a challenger. You want to know why? Because you could actually physically see the progression of that challenger until he gets up to the world champion. He beats people in the semis. He beats people in the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the finals. He wrestles high-quality matches. That's the shit that I want to see. I don't want to see it overdone. They shouldn't always do tournaments. But I'm not opposed to it in this particular time. I mean, they're not doing anything else for challengers. Renee Paquette was supposed to have a face-to-face with Saraya and Britt Baker. Britt Baker never showed up. Saraya said she wanted to elevate the division. She came to AEW because it seemed like it was a rebel organization and it fit her persona, yada, yada, yada. Renee asked the big question, is she medically cleared? She says she's going to wait to answer that until next week. She has one more doctor left to consult about it. Obviously, that doctor is Britt Baker. She's probably going to hit Baker with with the Rampage or something like that. Whatever move that she has, and that's going to be the doctor she consults, and that's going to be the match at Full Gear. Lamar Jackson, the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, was at ringside. Pretty much the reasons why they chanted MVP during the Moxley match, because that pretty much distracted the crowd. The crowd wasn't watching that match at a certain point. They just wanted to see Lamar Jackson. They do a backstage segment with Shivani and Regal. cuts a quick promo on MJF, saying he has all the potential in the world, won't help MJF when he has to face a real demon in Jon Moxley. I still think that it's going to be Regal that turns heel and helps MJF win the belt. I think MJF should go back on every single thing that he said he wasn't going to do. He should cheat. He should, and maybe, you know what I think would be cool, that he doesn't use the ring. Either he uses Regal's brass knucks, or it's Regal that knocks out Moxley with the brass knucks so that MJF could win. But MJF should be walking out of Full Gear champion. Period. End of story. Daddy Ass Birthday Bash. Those foam scissors, man, they're gonna sell out like nobody's business, man. Everyone's gonna buy them shits. It looks like they're grooming FTR to be the next legitimate challengers for the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are gonna fight Swerve in Our Glory again for the third time. I assume that's happening at Full Gear. Max Caster had a rap. He mentioned Elon Musk. Anthony Bowen says that scissoring has taken over the world. He scissored the cameraman. They introduced the scissoring foam fingers. Caster went into the crowd. He got a scissor sign for Billy Gunn. Caster presented Billy Gunn a trophy for World's Greatest Dad. Bowen said he had guest book 2 canceled, while the others were upset that he didn't come to the reunion. That's a dig at Billy Gunn not being a part of the DX reunion. Rumor has it that Tony wanted AEW to be mentioned, and WWE said tough shit. Smart business. I wouldn't have done it either. So we had no Billy Gunn at the DX reunion. The Acclaimed come out with a certificate that could they were going to get adopted by Billy Gunn. Great. Colton and Austin Gunn, Billy's actual sons, interrupted. W. Morrissey shows up, lays out Billy Gunn, lays out the Acclaim. The Firm comes out, lays out everybody. FTR hits the ring. The Gun Club and Morrissey bail. FTR hold up the tag belts and then hand them over to the Acclaimed. That match is going to be great. That match has a build. Why? Because the Acclaimed have been on a roll. FTR has been on a roll. Now you have 2 of the best tag teams in AEW going at it one-on-one for the greatest title in that promotion, which is the AEW tag team titles. That's a build. That's a match I'm interested in. I think it's going to be great. Shivani's backstage with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. They're tired of whatever. They're going to do a tag match against any 2 ladies on Rampage, which it ends up being Madison Rayne and Sky Blue. Nobody cares. Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager come out. He says he's challenging any former champion of any kind. Any former TV champions, world champions, tag champions, women's champions, it doesn't matter. Now, originally, I thought he was going to challenge any world champion, which meant the ROH world champion. I would have loved for it to have been Adam Cole and he beats freaking Jericho on some random episode of Dynamite and just freaking surprises everybody. That didn't happen. What we got was a different surprise. Colt Boom Boom Cabana. The guy who shares bank accounts with his mother. Fuck you, punk. So we got Colt Cabana back. Good for him. Got a great reaction from the crowd. Had an okay match with Jericho. Still lost. And then it got kind of crazy at the end because, like, the Jericho Appreciation Society comes out. They're fighting. The Blackpool Combat Club. They're fighting. Listen, we have been dealing with the Jericho Appreciation Society and the Blackpool Combat Club feud since Blood and Guts. I'm tired of it. They need to move on. There's no point to it anymore. There's no point to it anymore. These guys keep on fighting. You know what I saw today? You know what I thought today? When they were fighting on the ramp, when they were fighting on the stage, I'm thinking, man, this has got to lead to a blood and... Oh, yeah. They already did that. They've already had individuals in that group fight each other. Remember when Kingston was like a semi-part of Blackpool Combat Club for just no apparent reason? Enough already. Enough. They do a backstage segment with Renee Paquette and Death Triangle. Phoenix is saying he's ready to become the all-new All-Atlantic champion. Pac says he knows something about being double champ, but if Phoenix wants revenge, he would take the hammer from Pac and use it as a golden ticket. Pac told Phoenix to think about it, and he walks away. Orange Cassidy. Now, here was a shocker for tonight. Here was a big shocker for tonight. All right? Orange Cassidy, yes, he ends up defeating Luchasaurus and Rey Fenix to retain the All-Atlantic title. It was a good match. It was a fun triple threat match. All right? I did like that Jungle Boy came out and interfered and took out Luchasaurus. That storyline has to end already. But apparently Christian is legit injured, so that's just going to be another thing that they're just going to be treading water with for months and months until Christian heals up. Then immediately when Christian comes back, he's going to fight Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy is going to beat him. I'm assuming that the next time that Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus fight, it's only going to be because they're expecting Christian Cage to be back momentarily. I would hope that at the end of the eventual Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus match, that Christian Cage comes out and beats the shit out of Jungle Boy to set up their one-on-one match. I'm hoping that match ends up happening at either Revolution or Double or Nothing, because it sure as fuck isn't happening at Full Gear unless Christian is okay. All right? So they went at it, blah, blah, blah. Cassidy wins by with the orange punch. As Phoenix was trying to hit a roll up, like some sort of like roll up cutter or somersault or some shit. As soon as the match was over, Pac comes out and starts beating the shit out of Orange Cassidy. Grabs the hammer, was about to take him out, and fucking Katsuyori Shibata comes out. Music and everything. He pointed to the open contract for the All-Atlantic title on Rampage. Cassidy nods, hands Shibata a pen. It's official for Rampage. Shibata is going to wrestle a match. And he's wrestling on AEW. He's wrestling for a title. And he's going to fight Orange Cassidy. Now, I don't know how that's going to go. All right? Do I want to see Shibata come back and then just lose to Orange Cassidy? Not really. But Orange Cassidy just won the belt. You're going to have him drop the belt to Shibata? I don't know, man. I don't know where that's going to go. I mean, it seems like they're really trying to get me to watch Rampage. And not going to lie, a match between Shibata and Orange Cassidy, I'm watching Rampage. Shibata is one of my favorite wrestlers from New Japan. I was devastated when he almost fucking died from that headbutt that he gave Okada. He was some of the matches that he had were absolutely fucking incredible. I really hope that this is a start of Shibata actually coming back to the ring and wrestling on some sort of regular basis. So fingers crossed. And if you guys haven't watched any Shibata matches, I would recommend you do so because he's a phenomenal wrestler who got dealt a very bad card, very horrible injury that nearly took his life or almost left him paralyzed. But I don't know. Yeah, Con, I agree with you, bud. I agree with you. I'm 50-50 on it. Because it's like Shibata probably is going to lose, but I don't think he should lose, but maybe he might lose. I don't know. But like Shibata's All-Atlantic champion. Like, what are they going to do? Now he's going to be on AEW television on a regular basis? I mean, to be quite honest, no one really knows Shibata except for the hardcore AEW audience. Orange Cassidy is one of the biggest names that they have, and I feel like the All-Atlantic title is like more of a traveling belt. That's a belt that you take and you represent AEW and all the different indies that are out there and build business for the independents and sell tickets and build up your champion that way and put over guys in the indies. I don't see Shibata taking that role, so I don't know. Shibani's backstage with Rick motherfucking Ross. What the fuck you think you talk about? I'm the fucking boss. You know? That Rick Ross. He said he's here in AEW for one reason, to make sure Swerve is the biggest in the industry and in rap. Keith Lee walks in, says he haven't heard from Swerve from all week, the number one contenders. He wants to know who was holding the camera when he assaulted Billy Gunn. Rick Ross says those are just accusations. Swerve says, how about next week, 8-man tag with them in the Gun Club against FTR and the Acclaimed? Keith Lee reluctantly accepts. So it's going to be Swerve and Our Glory and the Gun Club versus FTR and the Acclaimed. Okay. This match. So here's the match with Jade Cargill and Marina Shafir. This match sucked. It was 2 minutes. Nyla Rose came out. First off, they had Vicky Guerrero coming out screaming, "Excuse me! Excuse me!" You want to put focus on women's wrestling? You got Vicky fucking Guerrero screaming at the top of her lungs for people to look at her and pay attention? Are you out of your goddamn mind? That match was awful. The segment was awful. Nyla Rose stealing the belt and running around with it. It's a fucking ridiculous storyline. Jade walking away from a title match. Jade was in a title match. She walks out. She almost gets counted out. How dumb could you be? The match was dumb. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of attention. Marina Shafir should not be on television. She's a horrible wrestler. She's not a great personality. She cuts horrible promos. She's very subpar in the ring. Her gimmick as the problem is a stupid gimmick. She is a fucking problem. She's a problem for my freaking attention span. All right? Get rid of her. I don't want her on television anymore. You know what? For the love of God, give us Roderick Strong, please. Not Marina Shafir. Awful match. Awful match. Awful match. And that's it. That's all I have to say about it. It doesn't deserve any more time on my channel. Video package was shown. Julia Hart seems to be burying Malachi Black and Brody King. I think Malachi Black is coming back. I don't know if that's the return of House of Black. I mean, to be honest, House of Black versus the Elite would be a banger match. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to turn out. But having Malachi Black, that ain't a bad thing, people. Malachi Black is a great character. He's a great creative mind. He's a fantastic wrestler. I just wish Tony would just give him that. Malachi Black is the best thing, that is the closest thing AEW has to a Bray Wyatt in terms of a creative talent and a great wrestler. And someone who thinks up of great gimmicks for themselves and could constantly reinvent themselves again and again. So, Malachi Black coming back, if that's what's actually happening, is good news for AEW. It's been made official for Full Gear. Tony Storm fights Jamie Hayter. Okay. Now from now until Full Gear, they have to make me care. Let's see. Man, if Jamie Hayter wins, though, that'd be baller, though. I'm not going to lie. So. Yeah, Con, I would say that Malachi, I enjoy, in terms of, I don't know, man, that's tough. All right? Because I loved Bayou Bray Wyatt. All right? When he first came in with the Wyatt family, I thought the the 6-man tags that they had with the Shield were that was one of the greatest Shield feuds of all time. All right? I am a firm believer that, I think it was, I don't remember when, but Harper and Rowan had a 2 out of 3 falls match against the Usos when the Usos were like Samoan, like when they were like Samoan. And, that was, I like that. The Wyatts should have held belts. Harper and Rowan should have held tag belts. And that is the Bludgeon Brothers, which was a dumb fucking gimmick to begin with. But they should also have also Bray Wyatt should have won the belt a lot sooner than when he actually did. All right? So the Wyatts, when they were at their peak, I felt they really dropped the ball on them, in my opinion. Malachi Black has had, when Malachi was Black was Aleister Black in NXT. Aleister Black in NXT was phenomenal. That was almost flawless booking all the way up until his last match. I mean, even his last match was great. I was there for that. It was the end of the Dusty they had won the Dusty Cup, which allowed them to fight against the War Raiders for the NXT tag titles, and they fought at NXT TakeOver New York, and I was there for that phenomenal match. That was their send-off. Both Ricochet and Aleister Black ended up moving up to the main roster after that, in which Vince buried the shit out of them. But I don't know. Bray Wyatt was on a bigger stage than Aleister Black was. So, listen, Con, I respect your opinion that if you think that Aleister Black and slash Malachi Black is slash Tommy End is better than Bray Wyatt, an argument could be made for that, man. An argument could definitely be made for that. Bray Wyatt has had some massive, massive moments in WWE. The guy fought The Undertaker. He was a WWE champion. He fought in WrestleManias. He was part of the Wyatt family. So I think Aleister, in my opinion, I think Aleister Black has a little ways to go before he could be, he could get up to the level of accomplishments that Bray Wyatt has. But they're both two phenomenal talents. I pretty much like them both equally. Not gonna lie. I do think that Bray Wyatt right now is spinning his wheels in WWE. I have no idea what the fuck he's doing. He needs to shit or get off the pot with that guy. Samoa Joe submits Brian Cage to retain the ROH television title. I don't like Brian Cage. I think he's boring. The only thing that I really cared about is Powerhouse Hobbs is in the mix now. Powerhouse Hobbs would be an excellent TNT champion. Powerhouse Hobbs would be an excellent ROH television champion. Powerhouse Hobbs has been built up very well. He went from a guy who was just a guy, part of Team Taz, not really doing much. The guy has reinvented himself. His physique is phenomenal. The guy has a great look. He cuts fantastic promos. He's getting excellent in the ring right now. I am for Powerhouse Hobbs holding gold, whatever gold it may be. All right? Him facing Wardlow would be a phenomenal match. Him facing Samoa Joe would be a phenomenal match. So the only big takeaway that I got out of this match was that Powerhouse Hobbs is now in a title mix, and he has a very good chance of beating either of those two guys. Now, granted, Wardlow hasn't really held the title for very long. Granted, he could lose the title and it wouldn't really hurt him. Wardlow is Wardlow. I mean, hell, Wardlow versus MJF for the AEW title, that match writes itself. The build is already there. So you take the belt off of Wardlow and have him be one of the first challengers for MJF. I'm all for that. I am all for that. So if he beats Wardlow for the title, great. He beats Samoa Joe for the title, great. That frees up Samoa Joe to do a ton of other stuff. Maybe have Samoa Joe join the Blackpool Combat Club and really get a good crew of heavy hitters in there. I don't know. But I'm glad to see Samoa Joe on television. I'm glad to see Powerhouse Hobbs on television. That leads me to my next point. What the fuck is going on with ROH? They need weekly television. They need it bad. Because the fact that you have to split, AEW's roster is already overfilled. And they don't have a lot of television time. I say this every week. They do not have enough television time for two rosters. They need to get ROH television programming. Not yesterday, not after breakfast, now. Right now. There's no time to waste. Now, if you read what you hear online, there's possible that ROH is going to have a weekly weekly programming starting in 2023. So we got, November? We got 2-3 months of ROH sharing AEW time. I think that's going to be a great help to Dynamite. I think Dynamite right now is getting bogged down by the amount of just all the stuff that they're trying to cram into 2 hours. Why not put important shit on Rampage then? Why not make actual, legitimate title matches on fucking Rampage? They're trying real hard, and they're trying to drink me in. Oh, well, there's going to be a lot of matches announced, big matches announced on Rampage. Why do I need to watch Rampage for a big match to be announced? There's the internet. I don't have to watch Rampage. The only reason I'd want to watch Rampage is if I wanted to get that information 2 seconds before someone posts it online. So holding off on big announcements on Rampage isn't to me a good draw. Isn't a way to get wrestlers and people to watch the programming, in my opinion. It's cheap. It's cheap. Rampage is cheaply booked. And the fans recognize that. They got less than 400,000 views. I mean, granted, the World Series was on, and SmackDown got less than 1 million viewers, and they average about 2.1 on average, so. But ROH needs to get the fuck off of AEW television. They need to have their own programming. I don't care what shape or form that comes in. My hope Here's my hope, people. My hope is that they go and they use the studio that they use for the dark matches in Florida, and they use that for Ring of Honor. And they make Ring of Honor and they structure it exactly like NXT was. All right? Commercial-free matches on YouTube with big-name stars, and it builds up the pay-per-views. People watch the takeovers, man. People watch the takeovers all the time. And NXT was not on television. But NXT takeovers would sell out stadiums. Sell out arenas. And they were never on actual television. So don't tell me that ROH can't be successful if they were doing it from a studio in Florida. They need to get off of AEW television. They need to put a whole big chunk of noticeable wrestlers on there. And if they were on YouTube, I wouldn't care. Let them have something weekly and then do the pay-per-views. Because right now they have to build Final Battle. They have to build Final Battle while they're building Full Gear. And then once Full Gear is over, they have to build Winter is Coming and New Year's Smash. So how are you supposed to build 3 pay-per-views on 2 hours of television programming and then you phone in the booking on a Friday? Doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Tony has a big problem. They need to get ROH off of AEW television. It needs to become its own separate brand with its own separate roster, and they need to stop sharing television programming. They don't have the time. They don't have the time, and they don't have the booking manpower. Here's what I think. Tony needs a guy to book his champions. Tony needs a guy to build challengers. Tony needs a guy to book blood feuds. Tony needs a guy to book new wrestlers that are being introduced. Have one guy book those kind of matches, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the guy can't book all 4 things at one time. It's categorically been proven over this last several months. The more people they sign on to AEW, the lower the quality of the programming has become. They don't have enough time for all this, people. They do not have enough time. They do not have enough bookers. They do not, and they just have too many wrestlers. They have too many wrestlers. Guys, that's it for tonight. That's all I got for you. I know the podcast went on a little long. Usually I do a half hour, maybe an hour. We're at an hour and 20 minutes right now. Anybody in the chat has any quick questions for me before I go off the air, let me know. Because I got an early shift tomorrow. I got to squeeze in an episode of Andor before I go to sleep. But eventually I will get the kinks worked out for the live calling. And hopefully next week I will be able to let you guys call in live. And we could talk, and we could discuss wrestling and have good conversation. Hopefully that happens, but unless there's anything else from you guys, I'm going to be signing off for tonight. I want to thank you guys for joining. We had great interactions in the chat. I want to thank Doom. I want to thank Khan. I want to thank Royal. I want to thank Richie. I want to thank Sarah and the rest of you guys for joining in. I appreciate you all for taking time out of your night to spend with me as I'm yelling into my webcam in my apartment about professional wrestling. I appreciate that. Again, we had started a partnership with a couple of different websites. HitSkipIntro.com is where you're going to be seeing television and movie reviews. Boone Syndication on YouTube is where you'll be seeing gaming, and all your wrestling is going to be right here on the Smells Like Wrestling Network. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your support, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much.
One night I had a dream, right? What if there were this club where no Hasbro kids went, that played half dance music and half indie, whilst people went mental under a sea of lemons and limes? Well, this is what I did. Firstly, I had to get a venue. I checked out loads in Sheffield, some good and some not so good. I'd even call them crap. But